In the story of a lot of people dwells the beautiful solution to a lot of problems that other people are facing. Hello, my name is Iyanoluwa Shomide Elizabeth, also known as Wanda, and this is the Voice of Comfort. This platform aims to bring out the voices of people that have been there or are there, that are experiencing these things, that know how it feels, what it feels like in it at the moment, or as at the time that they were in, are willing to share their stories and let us know, okay, this is how I got out of it. This is what it felt like. You're not in it alone. It's time for us to hear the real stories. It's time for those voices to come out. That's what Voice of Comfort is all about. All right. Hello, everybody. Good. What time is it over there? Welcome back. I know I've been off for a while, and we're back. We're back, and I'm excited because this time, let me start from the top of the story. One day in church, I was sitting down, and someone just walked up to me, and she was like, I need to speak to you. And I really want to speak to you. I don't know how you may take it. I don't know what your mood is like. I don't know if you will get angry, if you will do this, but I just have to speak to you. I noticed something about you, and I want us to talk about it. And while she was talking, I was just looking at her like, wow, I love your hair. But the fact that you don't have a hair, like you're so bold and so cool and so like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then we went on to have the most amazing conversation. I think we spoke for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours. Like that's the first time we were talking and we spoke for like 2 hours. And like, wow. So I like, no, this kind of bundle of beauty, amazingness and all cannot be limited to me alone. The world deserves to know. But yeah, let's get to it. Guys, my guest over here is Brenda, also known as Bad Guy.
Nice to meet you. I go by the name B to the A to the A to the R.
Okay.
If you don't know me, you're snoozing. Yes. Snoozing.
So wait, that name, Bad Guy, what's the inspiration? Like the bad guy? Because I got to know you and I'm like, no matter how hard you try to be a bad guy, I think your badness is rooted, permit me to use that word, it's rooted in being good. It's like you're badly good.
That's the kind of bad that I'm talking about. I mean, initially, that was not the name I was going by. I went by the name Brenda Adigwe, and I still go by the name Brenda Adigwe because, I mean, that's my name. But through my time in music and having to experience certain things...
She's a musician.
Through my time in music, I got to a point where I knew that I needed a change, and a change of identity, not just for like visual sake, but also name. And it was a process between me and God, man. And it was BAAR that God chose of all the names that I was praying about. So
like when you hear BAAR, you be like, BAAR.
A lot of people think I'd be a rapper or something. It's just at the full, this is Brenda Adigwe at that rocks. It's like it's my name, but just the initials.
It's so cool.
Like
it's so cool. And your branding and everything is like, I'm bold.
Yes, I'm bold. This is right.
This is like think twice before you step close. I remember when you asked me if I'm unapproachable. I said no. I don't think you're unapproachable. I think anybody that is coming close has to like check themselves and be sure
I'm glad
that you know what you're about to come. Like you, and I think it's cool.
I'm glad that that's how you see it, because it took a lot of work to get here.
I imagine.
I'm not backing down for anybody this time.
I like it. Okay, so being a musician. Aside from that, I noticed, right, you've really, even from the first conversation we had, you were like all about mental health, wellness. You told me stories about your travels, your exploration, your time when you were actively working.
Yeah.
Time when you started to find yourself, and how you even led me to a book. I read that book in how many days? I'm like, no, this is amazing. This is what I've been looking for.
Well done.
Like, I literally had to like delve into it. Right? It's like, tell us, what was it like getting into that field? What drove you into being a creative? I am calling you a creative because I cannot just call you a musician.
No,
It's like
there's so many other things. Yes.
Like I see you, the way you brand, you do your branding yourself, you do
Yeah.
your contents yourself,
Yeah.
you even the way you dress. Like
I
it's
do a lot of things
creativity on its
myself.
own.
Thank
So it's like, where did you find your creative expression? What was it like?
When I started, creativity was an escape for me because of where I was coming from background. It was the only way I was able to forget what was going on at home. And what was going on at home was a big deal. Right, so I started with dance. I don't know if I've ever told you this one.
But I've seen you dancing and I'm like, okay.
Oh, now I'm not even as bad. Like, I legit started as a dancer. I was bad. I would go for school competitions, would win. I would do competitions in the barracks at the time. I would take second place. Like, I was that good. I didn't even know I was going to do music until at church. I would be tiny like this. Somebody would be shouting, give Brenda the microphone, let her hold alto, And I was like, it wasn't a thing until my mom dragged me to the studio one day. Yeah, my mom believes in my music, like, so she dragged me. We did like a cover of a song that was popping at the time, and that's how I transitioned. And then I went to school. When I came back, I was like, okay. My mom was like, oh, you came back? I'm like, yeah, I want to try out this competition that is on right now. She's like, okay, cool. And she drove me there by like 4 a.m. She drove me there at 4 a.m. with some people sleeping outside. It was a huge deal. And that's how the whole thing started. Luckily, my brothers as well, they would play me the latest songs, would dance and rehearse together, vibe together. And for you to be an excellent dancer, you have to be able to understand rhythm and how things go, the beat, what is to come next, the story through the music.
Even as you're talking.
Through the music. So I understood music from that point. So I would listen to songs and score it word for word. I would harmonize, check out the harmonies, and I started getting better from there. And that's how I just continued till now. So why?
I'm smiling and looking at you. Being a psychologist, I hear people talk about how their major struggle is getting to a place where they find validation from home, or at least support from home.
Yeah.
So a situation like yours where you can say that your mother was a support system. I'm like, I don't know the entire story, right? But I know that having somebody that's like
pushing you,
it's so good.
It's a huge deal. Yeah. I've had friends tell me about how somebody said he was disowned. I've heard a lot of things. Yeah. But for me, God just blessed me with that. So I said 4 a.m. She was the one that woke me up for that competition. The first competition I ever tried in my life, like national. And she drove me there. Like, I was the youngest. I was, I think, 15.
Wow. How was it? How did it go?
Bruh, you see people that have been doing music for years come to compete with you. And I think one of the things that really helped me was my age, like the age difference. So, she's so young and she's so bold. She's like, who are you? So from this phase, we're moving. Uncle Ben will be like, oh yeah, you, number this, stay, you go, thank you very much, try next time. And that's how I stayed till the end, in the evening, yeah. And then they told me that I cannot go through the competition because I'm too young. Yeah, I think the minimum or maximum is 18. So the next year they called me back. They called my mom to bring me back to the competition. And that's how we proceeded to do this music thing.
Talking about music, guys, she has a something dropping up next year. What do you call it? EP.
Yes, EP.
Yes. So let's do that small market. Like
It's
you are
called
waiting for a
it's
baby
called
boy.
Wounded Child. It's the body of work that speaks about where I used to be and where I'm at right now. Also talks about significant things that I've had to come into full acceptance with, to say, okay, you know what, this was supposed to break me, but right now it's not.
Yeah.
And I feel at
It's
peace.
making me.
Yes, it's making me.
But to break me,
So so
I'm not
yeah,
even
Wounded
artist, but
Child. So Wounded Child, please. It was written and produced by yours truly. It's
written and produced.
yes, I do my
Written and
production.
produced.
My last EP, I produced everything. I wrote it myself. Shout out to Nebo Victor Collins. He mixed it, and he's mixing this one too. So
Thank you, neighbor.
shout out to you, bro.
What is it like being in the world of creatives? Like you talked about yours, right? And you've talked about how you were able to find your expressions from your life experience. It seemed like you were running away. Even now that you talked about your mommy being involved, like you were running, but it was running with you.
Yeah. Yes.
But now it's like I feel the creative world is an entirely different world on its own.
I agree.
What is it like there, being with other creatives, seeing other?
So I saw a video yesterday, and she was talking about how if you're lucky enough as a singer, you find people that your voice blends beautifully, like into each other, because as you grow, your voice changes, you know. And then she says it's also very difficult to find two singers singing the same thing. Like you call me now and you say, okay, I want you to sing this line the same way. Don't add any hammer, you know, don't add it, just sing it like that. She also mentioned that it was so hard to find singers. And then she goes further to say it's hard because everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants to be in. So in that creative space, you meet a lot of people who are not fully aware of themselves. So when you enter into a room, subconsciously it becomes a competition. So you that know yourself, when you walk into that room, you're like, okay, I mean, it's not a competition. It's, for me, it's souls coming together to really make something beautiful. So imagine that you have 10 people in this room and 8 is kind of insecure to that point, and you have to get to a point where you have to try and break those walls so you can have like a seamless. So yeah, there are so many good sides to creativity, but I think we don't talk about these parts a lot of times, and a lot of us tend to run from that world, especially when it involves a lot of other creatives. Are we good? Should I continue? Right, so in that world there are so many things. It goes beyond the creativity. There's so much more that you need to look into away from the creativity. So that world is quite interesting.
Yeah, I think generally people talk about, there's even this unspoken opinion, like when you just mention the creative, there's an unconscious expectation of seeing a confused person.
Yes.
Very different person. Someone dealing with anxiety.
Yeah, drugs is usually women.
Like all sort of things. Now we have even identity crisis.
Yeah.
And all coming in. And then, to be truthful, there is truth in it. But then there's also the idea of being fair and taking a look at the big picture, the big picture, and seeing the beauty of a boundless mind, seeing the beauty of a daring spirit. Like, getting to the point where you're like, this thing has not been tried before, but I want to try it. This thing has not been done before, but I want to do it. And now you just talked about the insecurities that comes with it, and then the competitions and all. How do they find the balance? Permit me to say they, because I know you've been in competitions where you've had to house with other people and like relate with other people. So it's not just about you being a unique individual doing your own thing. You've been in a social, like you've had to like interact on a social space. What is it like for creatives?
Um, now, where I'm at now, for creatives, being in the same space with them, like I mentioned, for me, my perspective, I just step into a room and I begin to observe. I hear what people are saying, I see what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, this one is insecure. This one is intimidated by this other person. Well, if you look beyond that, you see that, okay, this person is actually cool. So I begin to find ways to break down the wall. So it's easier to communicate away from the creativity, because you cannot create something if there are walls and there are bad blood everywhere. If there's no unity. And the unity we're talking about is not the physical fake unity. We're talking about like the mind, the mental, everything type of unity. You cannot create anything beautiful. You will just keep seeing bad blood and all of that. I hope I'm still in line with what you asked me. If I'm not, please make it known.
No, but okay. So the question was, how do you find the balance? So or how do they find the balance? I see that you're a very observant person. I think that's why I'm even asking this question. So you see somebody and you know this person is insecure, but you know that this person is also a creative that dares to cross boundaries.
Yeah.
At what point to help this?
Yeah.
I've heard of people that, in fact, I had a very beautiful conversation with one that talked about how what he needs to tap into his creativity is to maybe get high.
Okay, so that's where you're going.
Not necessarily, right? But how do people find that balance of, I might be insecure, but I'm expressing myself?
Like coping.
Yeah.
Is it like a coping mechanism? Yeah. So like you said, somebody told you is to get high. People find different outlets. Some could be sex, some could be drinking, some could be drugs, weed, some could be praying, some they just like to be on their own. Like if you leave me right now, I'd rather just be by myself at a resort just to deal with some things. I just need my peace and quiet. Like I like silence.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't think our mind can really get to that point of creativity or expression
if you
are
cannot,
unable to stay with yourself.
To silence. And there's so many noises, of doubt, of low self-esteem. You hear voices all the time, and then your family, they're telling you how they are not sure. They are not sure about what you're doing. You go to work, something's happening, you're having issues with your relationship, your friends, it's a lot. So if you're not at peace with yourself, with the body, soul, and spirit, you see that holy trinity, that 3 in 1. If you're not at peace, you can't do so much. So I don't judge anybody, I don't blame anybody now, because the threshold that a lot of people have, like, it differs. The thing that you can take, for a long time and still body it, somebody else will just go through it like once or twice and do you understand?
Yeah.
So people find ways to just escape, So people cope differently. When I find myself in that room, I don't go from a place of judgment, because I think I understand now what it is. The only time that I can get a bit defensive is if I see that you are an outright douchebag. Maybe not defensive. The only time I stand up for myself is if I see that you are an outright douchebag. If not, I just try and see beyond what you're giving to me in the moment. And don't forget that a lot of people use I'm a creative to hide behind, there's so many things underneath. So they just use the aesthetics, they use the void, they use all of those things to just cover. Anyways, it's an interesting topic. Why are you laughing?
I think I'm smiling because you know how, truthfully, and I think this is even beyond the world of creatives, we find ourselves from time to time in situations that that is like daring to us.
Yeah.
And different people have different coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
Some can just come up and take the defensive, like you said, I'm this and that, or do you know who I am? Do you know what this is? And then just cover it up. Some crawl in and then just go to hiding. But the truth is that I think if everybody realizes that we are all growing and we're all going through things and we all have things to work out, like even a counselor or a psychologist has things to work out,
Yes, so
then we would be kinder to ourselves. And by kind even goes beyond just being kind. Kind is as simple as go and sit down and face your trauma and get well.
be kind to yourself. A lot of people don't know how to be. I tell people a lot, the love that you're so quick to give to everybody else, how about you quickly give it to yourself too? No, because I've seen it a lot growing up and even till now. People are willing to give out themselves. Oh, my friend is calling me. I want to be there for them. I want to do this. You're asking you for money. You are going out of your way. You're touching. You're doing things that. But when it comes to you, how about you? Oh yeah, let's talk about you now. Do it for yourself. I don't have enough. Oh wow. Like, see it.
Is she shaking your table?
It's a very. I try to be very careful when I speak on these things because it will begin to look like, oh, you have everything figured out.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is. I've been on the other side. I think you were in the room when I shared my story at the Creative Mixer. Yeah. Like, I've been on the other side. I grew up in a barracks, like the poorest of the poor, bro. So thank God my mom, at least she pushed and everything. So I've been on the other side. Like, I've seen. You cannot, and I'm very passionate about self-awareness. Like, it's a huge. I'm very, very, very passionate about. You can't constantly stretch yourself and give to other people, and then you're not kind enough to yourself. It begins with you. Charity begins at home. When they tell you charity begins at home, people will think, oh, it's about training, how they trained you at home. Yeah, that follows, but you are home. You are home. So if you're not being charitable to yourself, then what are you giving somebody else outside?
Let me even give this a little like soft landing to back up the point, right? You see people that have gone through some very horrifying experiences, but want to stand positive and want to stand to choose love and to choose to be right and choose to be kind and choose to be there for others. And it's beautiful. It's so kind. It's daring, right? Being able to say that regardless of what I've been through, I'm going to push myself and still stay.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I'm not saying that is wrong. I'm just saying that to be able to give out of yourself, you have to check what's your content.
Thank you.
Right? So you see situations where then someone is having a conversation with another person, and then the person slightly makes a comment or a body language or a gesture, and then you're immediately triggered. And then the person that seems to be the sweetest person is suddenly a very toxic person. It's like you can only give out what is already in you.
You can't give what you don't have.
If you are not healed,
it's so sure.
Consciously or unconsciously, you would purge on people.
Spill.
You will stain people. You will mess up people. And the funny thing about all of this is that could be going on in the journey of healing. And you would see that people would tell you a story about how they've been hurt in the past. And then they hate so person. They are burnt out by so person. Blah, 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 blah. And then you go and check on that person. And then the person is already living a good life. The person is healed. The person is sound. And then you not feel like this world is wicked. Why are good things happening to good people? The thing is that person might have been in the healing process and might have pushed on you.
Yeah.
And you are now stuck on where the person placed you, not realizing the person has gone.
This thing that you're saying just reminded me of a season that God took me through. And I think I'm still in that season where the people that I offended, like through my journey when I was younger. Like I started meeting them one after the other. Some of them I saw in the dream before I met with them. I remember one, like I knelt down outside, like I had to kneel down in front of that friend's mom to apologize. And in my head at the time, I was like, Lord, I didn't really do anything. I didn't do anything to this person, but God already showed me that, okay, you're going to meet this person. And I feel so light just by like letting that thing go. Like I said it on Sunday at the Bible study. I'm like, it's too much power to give to somebody else where I'm smiling and I'm all cheerful, and then somebody that offended me walks into the my mood now change. God forbid. Who are you? Hey, who are you for you to have that much power over me? Like, nah, bruh. So
I'm not even sure we realize it.
No, we don't. You don't think me. That's why my rule is, if you do anything to me, I don't address it
immediately.
But no, maybe not immediately, because in that moment the person might not, or I might be very hot-tempered. So I try, but I make sure that thing is addressed, especially if I feel very disrespected. Like I have to tell you, so you do not do it again. Because for me, if you tell me, Brenda, I don't like what you did to me, or I don't like how you spoke to me, and I understand where you're coming from, I won't try it again. And I know that if I try it again, anything that comes from that, yes, because you warned me, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this story of forgiveness, it was forgiveness we were speaking on at the Bible study. It's a very, very important thing that a lot of people don't look into, and it's not even first about the other person, it's about you. There's so many things that we've been through, we've done, so many mistakes that we've made, so many opportunities that we passed on, or so many things, and then we cannot even forgive ourselves. There's and whatever it is that you are so quick to want to give to other people, you have to give it to yourself first. There are projections that I get in my head sometimes, and I can't even stand to think about that thing. But later I'm like, you're human. Like anybody in life perfect, make him come outside, make me see. Do you understand what I mean? Like, you're human. It's okay that you went through that. Forgive yourself and let it go. Yes. Stand up. Don't sit down there and be no. Please. It's interesting. It's an interesting. Creatives we have to learn to take care of ourselves first before taking care of everybody. I saw a video where they were talking about how the American industry, how they feed off black people, and they feed off black people based off of the trauma and the pain that they have. And it's a very good market, because half of the black music that you hear is coming from So you're using that to feed everybody. You think you have money, but mentally you are a hot mess. Like, why would you be doing that to yourself? Don't you think that you're important enough? The music, the sound, the ideas is coming from you. So you don't feel the need to take care of yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Nah, bruh.
Yeah. Very recently I was thinking about how sometimes we don't realize the power that the things that we expose ourselves to hold. You know how you just talked about you're singing these songs and it's coming from a certain place of pain, a place of pain. Do we realize that when people listen to that song, they're tapping into that pain? Like, do we realize that there are certain songs you just play and then your mood changes?
Music is spiritual.
It is that deep, and people don't realize it. And take it on the flip side. Do you realize that you can sing and people feel relieved? Do you realize that you can sing, you can act, you can show your artwork, and people like, do you get it? And this is not just like on a general, I'm talking about healing from the inside out.
Yes.
from the inside out, that affects every other aspect of your life. Like, you literally start seeing your skin glowing. You see your eyes shining, and everything is popping. There is a need for us to understand the value of what we are giving and what we are taking. Which even reminds me of friendship. I think you randomly mentioned friendship.
Yeah.
Today, right? We read
Something,
through someone's post today, and really, how conscious are we about the connections we have? Like, intentionally deciding that you are the one person that is going to be close to me, and knowing that this is the value that your presence brings to me. Okay.
I feel like friendships these days are more transactional, because when you put it like the value that you're bringing to me, for me that sounds like, okay, if I'm not giving you value in the moment, that means we can't be friends. It's the same thing with love. It's like, why do you love me? If there's a reason, then the moment that reason is taken away, that love has gone to shit.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about this theory. That's the theory of friendship, and I'm writing a book on it. So it's friendship, choice or commitment.
Choice.
Vibe or commitment, rather. So is it like, as the ginger is flowing, as we are feeling the feeling? You know how literally you could just meet somebody and the same way we just started talking that day, and it's like, boom, we are there, and it's flowing and all. But then, what then happens when, for some reasons, you're unable to show up, you're unable to talk? Maybe you go through a downtime, and then, do you know how downtime changes us? And suddenly one person is being toxic over the other, or one person just raises his voice over the other. Do I just say, oh cool, look how she just talked to me, who are you, this, and I walk away? Or, I think that's where vibe comes in. The vibe has changed, so friendship has gone. Or commitment. That is where the choice comes in. I like you because,
if you like me because of something, I don't want to be your friend.
It depends on the something.
I don't want to. If there's a because.
Hold on and look at it this way. Okay, how about, I like you because I see the beauty in you, I see the value in you, I see who you are, I see who you are becoming.
That's not a because. That's just who.
The context of the because that we choose to see. If I choose to see you and choose to be with you and be your friend because of all that I see you, that you are, when you seem to act in a way that is not aligning with that thing that I see, what I would choose to do is to come and be like, hello madam, I've noticed this thing. Are you okay? Are you good? I know you, and I know that what I'm saying is not who you are.
In the moment.
And I want us to work.
No, but why do you think that's not who I am? That's the question. Because when it comes to friendship, commitment, love, people are so shallow-minded. They think it's just one version. The beautiful, shiny, Brenda the ginger, Yano the wonderful girl. No, bro. If I'm coming to be your friend, I'm coming to not just be your friend to a friend to the beautiful side of Yano. It's a whole package. So I need to understand that there are days that wonder will not be in good. How am I supposed to step in? So if I'm saying I love Wonder, I'm not going to say I love Wonder because when the reason why a lot of people find themselves in some kind of shitty ass friendship is when that because the reason why they are into that is no longer there. They can't stand it anymore.
Can I broaden this a little?
Yes, please.
I think this now depends on the root of the because. When people try to find foundations for doing things, they choose to be only positive minded. So if I'm saying because, and I'm saying the because is just because you give me something, you do this, you do that, the benefits that I stand to gain, and not say because and think of the possible wrongs, and not say because in the situation at which I am at my worst, or you are at your worst. Like when we make attempts to face life, we get so encroached to the positivity and forget that life is broader. Your because can be that because I see that you are going through a struggle, and I see how firm you are pushing yourself, and I know that with this passion that you have, there is something amazing coming by. You don't have it yet. In fact, you throw tantrums. In fact, you can be so rude. But whenever you are rude, I still see how you go back and you talk to yourself and you step back outside. That can be the because.
I mean, I don't. That's rude. The word rude just sounds. So because you're going through things does not give you the right to be
Rude.
to be an asshole. I don't know if we use words like that in this podcast. And somebody told me the same thing recently. It's not an excuse. That's why the friendship or the story I told you earlier before we began this whole thing is you cannot be all over the place like that with your emotions. You as a friend too, you need to put yourself together.
Yeah.
So if I'm offended by you, I can try and show you that I'm not happy about what you've done, but maybe in the moment it might not be a good time to have that conversation because there's another person in the picture. It shows how much I respect first myself and then secondly you, to take out time to want to have that conversation. But if you see me throw an outburst in front of somebody else when we're having, is because what you've done is absolutely irritating, and we've tried to tell you over and over again, and it seems like you're not listening. So we have to draw your attention in the way that you understand it. Do you understand what I mean? But being in a bad mood doesn't excuse. It doesn't give you the right to be disrespectful to somebody else. We all have bad moods when things were not cool. And when somebody walks up to you to say, "Hi, Yanu, like, are you okay? What's going on with you? Are you sure you're fine?" It's not the time to be a bastard. It's the time to say, yes, like, let's not be doing words like this. It's the time to say, okay, I think I want to talk about it later. Can we talk about it later? I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about now. Please go on.
That or I'm not fine. Like something is going on with me.
Yeah, I think I released a video very recent. I put a reel on Instagram, and then the theory was about honoring the affections that other people give us. That is me seeing that you love me, and I honor the love you have for me, as such that I know that I'm not in a good place. I know that I'm at maybe my worst. And at this moment, if I open my mouth and talk, I could be outright, like, off the hook, right? And then me respecting your feelings well enough to let you know, like what you just said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not in the mood right now. We'll talk about it later. Right? Now, or on the flip side too, right? You going through something and then noticing that your friend is like off and maybe misbehaving. The question then is, this vibe is gone off. Your vibe have gone? Should I carry myself and
so
go?
off,
or is there, or do I need to like check back and say, okay, so I noticed, like you just said, you just talked about it now, I noticed that you were a little bit off, and that is not so good. It didn't go well with me. That was rude. Is everything, like, do you want us to talk about it? Is everything okay? I don't like it, and I would appreciate it if it does not repeat itself. I think that this balance is...
There were two options. Sorry to cut you. There were two options. You said something. Is the vibe is either the vibe is off or something. I can't remember the other word you used. If the vibe is off, is great. I mean, we understand that there's something wrong. But the other option, I really want to try and remember.
Is it the vibe or commitment?
No. You said something about when you see somebody going through something, either the vibe is off or something. Should I go with the vibe that is off, or the other option? I can't remember what the other option is. But for me, if the vibe is off, I understand that, it's just for a period.
Depending on who the person is.
I mean, generally, is if you know, like you said, you know this person. I know this person to a point, and we've spoken on some deep level. So if I see this person in a mood, I can always walk up to you. If I don't want you to spill on me, I see that the energy is a lot. I'll leave you. When when you feel, I saw you the other day. Hope all is well. If you're willing to talk, great.
Yeah, I've seen you do that before.
With who?
Me?
Oh, right, okay.
When you're like, oh, you thought that I was giving you.
Oh yeah, when I met you at first,
Yeah.
the energy was interesting. So yeah, people, we have mood swings. It's a normal thing. Do you understand? But some people you said something about honoring the affection. Most of us didn't grow up in homes where
We learn to honor other people.
or affections. When me and my sister, we just started getting into it, where I can see her going through things at home, and I can open my arms like, oh, come and hug me. Or she will see me going through things, that she'll just come and hug me, whether I'm refusing it or not. When we started growing up, that's not how we were. Yeah. Sometimes when my mom wants to tell me things like, I love you, I used to look at her strange, like, mommy. Do you understand? So me and my sister, we had to get to that point where we had to talk
you
about.
have to teach yourself how to show
Like,
affection.
yes.
How to understand that, okay, this person is in this state. I just remembered something that you said when you were sharing it at the Creatives Hangout. You talked about how all you really wanted at that moment was somebody to
be there
and hug you and say, I'm there with you, I'm walking this journey with you, I am right.
That can change.
And at that moment, what people were just seeing was, who is this one?
Like you're all over the place. What is this one?
Yeah. So we really need to, and I think that's what even the creative world needs. You know, where we're coming from, where we talked about how everybody just has these opinions about them being, you talk about a creative, you just see their hairstyle and you're already thinking of them smoking. Yeah. You're already thinking of them drinking.
I mean, we get judged a lot. I know how many times I walk into rooms with my bald head, and sometimes.
It's very beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
I see and I immediately think African.
Thank you. Every time I get African queen, oh, you find that, you know where I'm like, thank you, just heal me. So yeah, we get judged a lot. And that's why I'm glad that we're working on this project, Give Back, right? Because
there's a project coming up.
Yes, it is coming up, and we're going to talk more about it soon. But that's why I'm glad, because once we're able to set up that, we can now get creatives coming to express themselves how they truly feel away from the creativity, to help their minds be calmer. Like I talk to a lot of creatives all the time. There was one that was crying. He lost his dad, and I think his dad was his greatest guy, but they're not from a wealthy home. And this guy was going through things for months. He'll be posting status. Everybody will think he's cruise. That day, the Holy Spirit was just like, reach out. It's like, you have to press. It was like, you have to press on. Like, I called this my guy. I've never seen that guy cry. I never believed that guy can. He was weeping. And that nobody understands. All people just do is call me for money. He has lost his dad. Nobody understands that they were very close. Like, he was weeping. And you people just calling, you're a producer, my guy, fan now. But yeah, come, we will run one music. You'll be there smiling with you will not know. There's so many cases like that where somebody is smiling with you, and the next day you say they don't buy because they commit suicide or something. Because people cannot look beyond.
It came to mind when you talked about how he was, like, people were calling him and smiling with him and laughing with him, and they didn't even know that he was going through some things. And I immediately thought of a few people, even people that would pay for counseling.
Yes, no.
And would choose and would not show up, or will not share.
A lot of people don't like to be vulnerable. Or will not give themselves
the opportunity to heal.
A lot of people don't like to be vulnerable.
Right?
I've heard another creative say things like, if you share your story, it will become gist after some time.
But
so they'd rather not.
Who you're sharing with, yeah?
Sorry?
So that's the question of who you're sharing with. Yeah?
Well, yeah, that is also valid. But there are times where you find yourself in situations where is the closest listening ear that you want to share that story with.
Or where the burden
It's too much.
and you just want to like.
And is the person that is willing to hear you? So
and sorry, I'm sorry to cut you in,
cool.
but I'm immediately reminded of the general opinion that people have towards counseling. It's like, no, example. I'm a counselor, but don't let me talk about myself. So you don't say like I say self-marketing.
Please,
right?
Self-market is your show.
Generally, the field of work is possible to get engaged, to relate with, to have a therapist and have someone that you know that this is the go-to person that you can call at any time when you are. If you understand the value of sharing and understand that sometimes all you need to do is to open up and talk. The person may not even need to say one thing to you. Like we talked about it, how you are just sharing, and from sharing, the person you are talking to just you by yourself, you're already giving yourself the correction. You're giving yourself the warning. You're giving yourself the like.
It's real life.
It's coming to you straight. People don't understand how important that is, and then they wait till they are so weighed down. And like it's possible to have like periodic plans. There are counseling plans where it might even be monthly checkup, just monthly go and purge and come back and be sane. Weekly go purge, come back and be sane. But these are like mental health, like is how do I put it? It's like going for medical checkup. It's like going for just wellness tips. It's like going to periodically make your hair. Once in a while, go and check up on your heart. Clear up your mind.
To be sure that soul. Everything is fine because
now you're talking about someone that is going through this much, like losing, even if you're not close to the person, this person is your father. You lose a father and you're quiet and you have to wait till, thank God for the Holy Spirit, like we said, right? Till the Holy Spirit leads someone to go and reach out to you. A situation where no one reaches out to you and you could have just reached out to somebody will now end up in a situation where someone kills himself and ends the story of an amazing life. It still reminds me of the old talk about loving yourself. Like, please.
As I'm like this, hey, wonder when I say certain things, people look at me like, Like, now, whatever it is that you want to think is your business. Anybody that wants to think is your business. After God is me. Do you understand? After Yeshua is me. Then after me, everybody else. Do you understand? I cannot be doing my mother. Is me. And also,
I never thought of it like that.
I was listening to one, I think, is it a preacher or a message? And the sermon, the person said the same thing. After God, even in marriage, after God is you, then family, because it's what you have that you will give to the other person. Do you understand? If you are burnt out, you will think, I'm putting it together, so my husband will not feel. But that's what you'll be feeding.
Sometimes you don't even need to talk.
Thank you.
Your mood, your facial expressions, everything. And
I saw a video where the guy was talking about how he gives his wife, at least I think every day, his wife has like 1 or 2 hours walk. He will take the kids from her and she will just go outside and do whatever it is they help. That's what he wants her to do, because she has to get to that point. He understands that the work is too much for her. She has to work, she has to take care of the children, she has to, take care of the home. He's doing his part, but he can understand how overwhelming. So even if she don't want to go, she's like, I'm fine. You'll be like, lie, that your work. You have to take it. Go and spend time with yourself and process everything.
Clear up your mind.
So when you come back, if there's anything happen,
up your mind.
We went to a resort recently from my Bible study for it was hangout, and I didn't want to talk to anybody. Like, everybody just leave me the hell alone, because I know how. Trust me, I know how I got there. Like, at the time, I had a lot of resources, so I couldn't go. But my big bros in the fellowship, they showed me love. I paid some, they covered for me. And I've not had a break in a long time. So in my head, I'm here by myself. I'm not seeing anybody. So they were doing games and I was not being a part of it. And everybody thought I was just carrying face and everything. And that retreat taught me a lot about myself. Because a lot of people kept projecting on me like, oh, there's something wrong with you. You are in a bad mood. You are in this, you are that. And when I found a lake where I'll just sit down and just worship and just, I'll just worship. I'll just talk to God like, okay, God, what's going on? This is how I'm feeling about like everything. And it was there that I realized that I like my peace and quiet. And because you don't understand it, it doesn't mean I don't care what you now. Like, I'm not obligated to meet up, to your expectation of me. I'm going to do whatever it is that works best for me. So what worked best for me was I am not interested in being in the midst of everybody to play games at this point, because this peace and quiet that I'm getting now is something I really need.
How did you communicate it to them?
I was quiet. So it was...
I mean, did you explain?
No. Again, I do not need to explain myself to you. But I was very lucky because a few people that genuinely cared walked up to me and asked me what's going on. And I expressed it to be sure that I didn't have anything in my mind, like I'm cool. But the people that were maybe insecure or intimidated by that move of me just being quiet, because they know me to be, but I just entered and I kept telling them like,
no, I think it's not your regular, so it's natural to be working.
No, you will say it's not my regular
because they don't know you
when you see me once every week.
Okay.
But we had that conversation that I'm a very reserved person.
Yeah, I'm like, for them, that is not the regular you they see. So suddenly saying that would bring the question.
So how about you walk up to me and say, is everything okay? Do you mind anybody sitting beside you? Do you want to talk? As to going behind and talking shit and saying things like, oh, she's in a bad mood. So I asked one of them, you're carrying it up and down. Did you walk up to me to ask me, is something going on? Is something happening at home? What's happening to you? So if you're about that, please, let's not...
I get you, right? But this is like, it works on both ends.
And again, I am not interested. And I had a conversation with somebody there, and she looked at me and she said, you know what the problem is? People don't like confident people. When you know what you want for yourself and you are working in that, they will say a lot of things. She said it was a thing for her too. It was a big deal when she was growing up, school, everything. She was very confident, so people didn't like her until she got to a place where she came to a realization like,
I'm okay.
Yes, I'm okay. You are the one with the problem. Because you don't understand it does not mean that it's not good.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. Right? You just talked about
12.
how... You just talked about... We'll be wrapping up soon. Okay. Just talked about how sometimes sharing these things, like example, coming to meet you and saying, oh,
What's up?
Right? That is on the receiving end. I think that, the same way we talked about how everybody's a work in progress. We are all trying to consciously figure ourselves out, regardless of who you are. I'm not sure there's any Mr. Perfect somewhere. I mean, the Bible says we should be perfect, but as we walk towards perfection or be perfect, right, there are rooms to make adjustments, right? Periodically, you go into a new phase of life and you start having new experiences, and then you realize that, okay, there's something I should top up here, there's something I should top up there, but there's something I should cut down here and cut down there, right? So, in this sense, understanding that other people are equally work in progress. And this situation that you just talked about could be what they are working in progress in. So, you have not been able to figure out that when you're in this kind of situation, the thing to do is to walk up to that person and let the person know that, oh, hi, is everything okay? I just noticed that your mood is a little bit off from the usual. Are you good?
I hate that statement so much.
That is how they choose to express themselves.
Yeah, but right? I despise it so much. Or maybe they go around talking and talking and talking. But then, for an understanding person, which is who you are, right?
someone that sees people in their own light. Like people, I strongly believe people don't really see themselves, but someone that sees people in their own light and can identify that, oh, okay, so this is what this person is, or this is what this person is going through, right? Do you think that there could be a calmer approach or a more receptive approach to making them see? So we are all growing. I have seen that this is where your own comma is. Me, I get my own comma for another corner. But this your comma, it reached me this time. How do I address that your comma in a way where we are still, like, in a way that we get that does not create rooms for glitches? Like, example, you say, okay, now you're talking about how, oh, you don't care. They went to go and talk about you behind you.
I don't know if they said anything, but I sensed a lot of like energies that was not pure. It wasn't filled with love.
Now, I'm thinking, is there a way to address this thing that would have made them realize that, okay, what I did was wrong and there is a better way out?
So the Alabosi way, that's the busybody way, is me going to meet them like, oh, hi. But where I'm at mentally, I have moved from the pity party, the victim mentality. That's, I have to shrink myself to make you comfortable because you're uncomfortable with my side.
About you changing.
Well, that's what a lot of people would actually you do.
Yeah.
So
like,
it makes.
They are thinking this way. Let me come and explain. Hi. So what
Thank
is actually
you.
happening?
So
is...
what I realized about myself through that trip was, I don't want to be
find yourself in that place understanding
because
everybody, explaining
that
to
was
everybody.
exactly what it was. It was only 3 people that genuinely asked me, and there are some people that will ask you, are you okay? And you know that is a surface level, but there were 3 people that asked me genuinely, like, are you okay? What's going on with you? And at home, when you know I'm gonna like this idea, I know they talk, I'm always inside the room. Or if something was actually happening, I'll open up. Do you understand? So we cannot talk about the body of Christ and the love of Christ and be quick to judge everybody else without even finding out first. Even when somebody does...
How do we help those people that judge?
How do we help? Is to bring it, this conversation that we're having, is to bring it to light. So when I hear conversations like, see that person, say I should do. I know they follow you, do all those kind of talk for person back. That's what I mean boldly anywhere where I talk. Anything I say behind your back, I can say it to your face. If I cannot say it to your face, I won't say it behind your back. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So it's for you to now show people like, I know do I'm like that. Did you ask this person if something was going on? Sometimes I hear situations and I'm like, hey, that's how this person said this. And my first question is, was it how the person really said it, or was that how you received it? You know, if the person is now open-minded, they will now take a step back.
Yeah, open-minded.
Yeah, and I say, actually, I was just irritated. That's why I was saying it. So, no be so the person talk you just the para. Do you understand? So, I feel like in different situations, you need to know how to stand your ground. And I also mentioned projection. People that are insecure tend to project a lot. And it's a very thin line. It's a very thin, if you don't know, if you're not aware, they'll project on you a lot. You can sit down here and be fine, and you're not in the mood to laugh and smile with anybody. Or you're seeing this person, you like how the person looks, you like their smile, you're just observing and everything. An insecure person will walk into this space and say, oh, hi. And you can just say, oh, hi. And then you move on, and they are insecure because you didn't push further to want to be friends with them and do all those alabosi, and they start to spread things. So if everybody in the room is not cool with you in the moment, what do you now do? Are you going to be shaking or be receiving the projections they are giving on you? No, you have to find a way to block that shit, man. Like, I'm cool. If you're uncomfortable, that's on you, bro. Like, as for me, I'm not. And for confidence and for self-awareness, the more I find more things, the more I don't want to back down. Like, this life is too short for me to want to shrink into your idea of me. I'm not obligated to meet up to your expectations. So if you want to be my friend, or if you want to be around me, or if you want us to be in a close, you need to understand I won't shrink myself for you. And if we're not on the same wavelength, or you're not higher when it comes to the wavelengths. There's no point of being friends with you. I'd rather not.
And to even take it to the bigger picture, I think that's where every creative needs to get to a place where we are comfortable in our own
skin. Like, I don't want to be you.
You're comfortable with every other person chit-chatting, laughing, joking and all, and you're just sitting where you're sitting. Not because no one has met you and you feel left out.
Yeah.
But because you just know that, okay, this is not what I would rather do at the moment. Where you can comfortably walk out of a room, not because you are holding a grudge or something. Because you just feel like, okay, right now I think what I should be doing is maybe doing something
else.
And be okay with it.
Yes.
Right? And no bad blood towards it.
No bad blood. That's the name of my podcast.
Bad blood.
Like no bad blood. No bad blood.
Like no bad blood.
If there's bad blood, me, I'll call you.
It's possible for someone to do the same thing, and then you can tell that there is hurt, there's pain coming from somewhere. Sometimes the essence of what we do is not really about what we are doing exactly. It's about the source. And that's one beautiful thing about the Holy Spirit. You do some things and He will just tell you, okay,
crazy.
I'm sorry.
See, you need to, as a creative, it's a whole nother world entirely. People are coming into the industry as an escape. Some people are coming to just do what they can do in the moment. People are coming for different reasons. It's the same way with the church, the hospital. People have different things that they are coming to look for in that particular place. And it's the same way with the creative world. But to fully enter into that place and stand your ground, you really need to know who you are. You can't. You have to know who you are. You can't just come, because breeze will blow you.
Know yourself.
Breeze will blow you. And the best way to know who you are, the first process is knowing what your inner child has been trying to tell you all this while. Because one of the things that helped me to heal, and is still helping me to heal, is to understand what was missing when I was a child, what that child, my child version, didn't get, and what it is crying out so much to get. So I've learned to put myself in communities, in places, in spaces where they already have what I'm trying to get. All I need to do is just stay around them, learn how they are doing it, and just, a lot of people are very comfortable in their shit, a lot of people want to get better, and they want to, I want to drive my own private jet and all of that. But when it's time to do the work, they don't want to put in the work. They just want to sit down and let somebody else do it for them.
Work? Are you talking about mental health?
Yes, mental health.
Have the serious.
Do you know what it takes? It takes courage.
Sincerely, it's serious work. It's painful.
And
it's like experiencing it again.
Hey.
People talk about heal.
You think it's just mouth.
I talk about it too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and it's right to understand why people run from it. It's a lot of work. It's a
run
lot
from
of
it.
It's literally re-experiencing it. I know, but you know how you say it seems be like labor. And after labor, you have a child.
No, nobody 1 year old.
No, even labor, you still have to go through child caring and all for the child. But I mean, it feels it's just a process. It's painful. It requires strength, and even the strength it requires is strength and weakness. It's being strongly
vulnerable.
Weak.
Yes.
It's being strongly.
So a lot of people, I don't.
But it is very
important, because if you don't face it now, it will go forward to wait for you.
It will haunt you. Like literally, you see people in their 50s, 60s
still carrying that.
Comments,
Hell no.
You hear some opinions, and then you're like you can literally just say, please, who hurt you? Like, who did this to you? What did your parents do to you? Like, why haven't you moved on?
Mama.
Sometimes the people that have even hurt these people are people that are dead and gone.
Dead.
And you're still
please,
stuck.
I beg you, I don't know when you're going to listen to this voice note. I keep calling it voice notes because that's how I record my own podcast.
And you
Sorry.
actually like sending voice notes.
Yes. Sorry. So I don't know whenever it is that you're going to listen to this podcast. It might be this year, it might be next year, it might be whenever it is. Like, nobody's trying to beg you to do anything. It's for your own good. You have to go through that process of healing. On the other side is,
I think you need a hug. Please come and give me a hug. I'm happy to hug you. Like, how do you say it? I just feel like walking up to it's almost like seeing the person just say, come on.
yes,
come
please. Whenever you see me, please hug me. Like, I'll give you a hug. Because if you don't go through it, it will wait for you years. Yeah. I know of a friendship that's just ended because there's a side of that friend that she was unwilling to look into. And that side is why everybody keeps running away. And she took it out on me because I was honest enough to say it to her, while every other person would say it behind her. Do you understand that kind of thing? So self-awareness would solve a whole lot of things.
And there's nothing like living from a place of joy and wholeness. Like, literally, there's no weight on your shoulder. Like, you're like
free.
Oh man,
I am free. Like, wake up from the matrix. Wake up from the matrix. Like, when I watched the Matrix again, the Holy Spirit told me to go and watch the movie again.
Okay.
Yes, you have to. Yes, please. Right. The Matrix, like, is waking up from the conditioning that society, experience, your parents, foundation as. Yes. And that's why you see some people, you're like, you are very different. It's not, there's nothing, the person just decided to wake up from the matrix. Like, stop following the rules that other people set for them. And they've decided that it's my life, it's my rule. It's how I want to live my life that I'm going to live my life.
When you said it,
yeah,
I then thought of how truly is my life, is my rule, is how I'm going to live my life. No. But then, I think where creatives, I think that's what creatives try to do. That's how they're being able to create and being able to come up with these ideas and this and dare the dareables and just push beyond the boundaries, right? And I think where people now get lost is pushing too far and going too far and not being able to have an anchor. That now brings me to Christ.
To the source.
So it's like, yes, even in his creation, even in our very creation, there is a reason why we exist as who we are, as the individuals that we are. And trying to find out that unique thing about you, that pushing is your life, is your this, is your story, it's your, like, look at Bible stories. A Moses cannot compare himself to a David. Like, your stories are different, truly, but always make sure that you're rooted in your source. Like, find yourself on the basis of yourself, not go wild because you want to go wild and prove to the world that you can
this
do
place that we're going
to.
So there's really no time, because I remember my younger brother, he's I think 16 now, and he asked me the question about Jesus Christ and then the Holy Trinity and how he doesn't really understand. And the way the Holy Spirit broke it down for me is the body, the soul, and the spirit. The Holy Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. And how, if you want the other person to understand, God is the soul. Just break it down. God is light, is pure light. Like, they always make it seem like he's a human being, but from the description from the Bible, is light. When you see the revelations of the altar of the throne, there's no one human being there, so yeah, you can describe the soul as that. Then the spirit is the life of man. I don't know if a lot of people, how did we get to this conversation? And then the body, a lot of people think that the body is where it begins and it ends, and they would rather buy expensive makeup, expensive clothing, expensive supplement to take care of the body. While that is nice, the spirit of a man is actually the man. The spirit is the life
It's
of a
like
man.
the everything else.
Yes.
Every other thing.
So, who does the spirit listen to? Who does the spirit?
No, I sorry. This. Please go on.
No, you are going to.
I wanted to say that the spirit, or should we call it the soul? I think is who does your soul listen to? Does it listen to your flesh or your spirit?
Who does your soul
Listen to.
listen to? Remember that part where I think it was one of the words from Pimo, where he mentioned that there's a constant contention for the soul, and it's not different colors, it's white or black. You are either with the light.
Either there or here. I saw a reel. Sorry, like this is definitely going to add to your point. I saw a reel where someone was telling a story about how they were telling a guy, there's a fence here. This is God. This is the devil. Choose where you want to stay. The guy now laughed and said, don't worry, I'm on
You
the
stay
fence.
in the middle.
And I say that the devil now laughed and dragged him. And I said, there's no fence. I'm the owner of the fence. It is either, like you said,
yes, either here or here.
here.
It will do you a lot of good to go back to your source. This life is pointless, meaningless, stupid without the source. Without the source, you just be going round and round in circles. It will do you a lot of good to go back to the source. So I use this analogy a lot. Take for instance, you go to a Ford car dealership, and then you buy or you purchase a car, and then you start driving maybe a month or a few weeks after, or maybe 2 months. Something happens to that car. What do? You take it back because you bought it directly from the dealership. So you take it back for them to fix it because now they make them. You won't take the car to Benz. Yes. So I always use that analogy to explain what it looks like going back to the source. And I know a lot of people are against religion right now, but what we're doing is not religion. It's not. So you have to go back to the source. It's very important.
It's like the proper foundation of wellness in itself.
Thank you. The proper foundation of wellness is going back to the source. That's why no matter where you go to, you always come back to that place of total surrender. That's where everything starts. You see me, you like my confidence, you like how bold I am, you like this, you like that. Is the source. I cannot give that glory to anybody but the source, because the more you get to know yourself in the source, the more you come into fullness, into everything that you've been called to do. No human being, no uncle, no alpha, no priest, no prophetess, no pastor, no prayer warrior, nobody can do that work for you. It's you and your source. So you and your source. So Kabiesi, you have to go back to the king. So I mean, this has been really...
and I think this is the best place to stop, because I think it's the essence of everything.
But also, let's quickly, I mean, we need to talk about the project Give Back that we're working on. So we're working on a project called...
So generally, the idea is give back, right? The idea is that we all exist in this life, and there's a beautiful scripture. Let's start it from here. That talks about how we all go through different things, different scenarios, different experiences in life, and then the Holy Spirit comforts us. We receive comfort.
Voice of comfort.
But then the idea of all of this is that we haven't been comforted, can now go out and give comfort to other people, right? So we are lucky, we have our stories. She has a story, we've not even talked about it. I have mine. We've been through different episodes in our lives, and we, not by our own power, have been able to come out of it. And I've decided I want to give back. I want to give back to the world. I want to give back to you. I want to give back to majorly. creatives.
Yes, creatives. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely a burning passion for the well-being of creatives for us right now, especially mentally. So we have 2 key activities that are going to go down on that day.
Okay, ma'am.
We're gonna do
Speak it.
we're going to have a conversation called How Are You Truly? Where there would be a space for everybody to speak on what's going on with them and how we can love up on them and give them what they need in the moment. Because it's not really about what we want to do, it's about what the other person truly needs, right, in the moment. And the second one would be a donation. That's the one that I'm more excited about.
Yeah, she's so excited. She was like, she's the businesswoman.
And then,
like, this
because
is like, hey, I want to eat peanuts,
because
I want
my
to eat
dear,
chicken, I want to eat this. I was like, so that day she'll be giving us for free.
I don't know about that because the chin is business. However, we have a plan to give back, to get things that people have outgrown, but it still needs that the other person might be able to use. So if you have
something,
cameras, if you have tripod stand, if you have clothing, shoes, if you have bags, if you have accessories, lights, whatever it is called that it's just sitting down in your house is working, whatever it is, as long as it's neat for somebody else to be able to rock it nicely. Because another thing that a lot of people don't understand is creatives, like we're in need of a lot of things. A lot of things, and it's quite costly. Like me, I need a Sony.
How far?
Yeah.
Just, my dear,
something
one time
small.
somebody gave me something. It was a wig, and the Holy Spirit literally told me, no, while we were still at it, like, I think I just received it randomly. I was like, oh, okay. And me, I don't really, me, my hair, my locks, that's my thing. But then, like, immediately I just saw someone else that was beside me. I just saw her wearing it, and I said, take. And
are you serious?
And the way she has used it and valued it, there is nothing in me that would have done half as much.
Oh.
I'm just like, this is the owner. This is the owner. I would have used it half as much.
So you see,
every time I see it, I'm just like, girl, like, yes. So you have something.
You see
that
people
like
it's beyond alabosi. Like we're and we have a team of people that are very passionate about creatives as well, because we know what we are going through. Like I was telling somebody, we'll just step out, we'll wear what we have. They'll say, "Oh, you're shining, girl." So they don't know that
you just combine.
So
you might have 4 key factors of combination.
I'm telling you. So I'm saying to you now, whenever it is that you see this video, you might think that you don't have anything to offer, but it's a lie. One pair of ring that you have that is nice could go a long way for somebody. It could be something that the person has been looking for a long time. Whatever it is, just bring it so it can be a blessing to somebody else.
Nail polish. I looked at your nail and I just thought nail polish.
Yes, like anything, don't be limited. I know we always have that self-doubt thing where we're like, oh, my own gift is too small, or no, there's nothing that is too small. There's really nothing that is too small. And trust me, you're going to have fun as well. You're going to pick up nice things for yourself. It's also a way to encourage ourselves, to prepare ourselves for the new year, because January, the earlier times of the new year, is not entirely a time for creatives. It's a time where it's always very calm, and so we need to ginger ourselves to prepare to ask ourselves certain questions like, what's the plan? What are we trying to achieve? And we hold each other up.
The perfect time for reconfiguring, arranging,
do you get
things, setting out plans and.
So you would network, would have conversations, and most importantly, you never know who you could connect with on that day that has exactly what you've been looking for. It could be a business idea, it could be a collaboration, it could be anything, right? So this one is for the creatives. You guys, we love you so much, and we want you, because we're creatives too. But then we found something that we really want you to find too.
Yeah.
So please, we'll look forward to having you over. We're going to talk more about this, the content and promo videos. But for now, if you have any donations, you can reach out to Wanda.
And you see our page.
Yes. So I can reach out to me. Reach out to Wanda too. You know. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think this is where we say this is a wrap. This is a wrap.
It was such a pleasure
Thank you so
to
much,
be on
guys.
this. Thank you, guys.
Have a blessed one. And don't forget, you deserve the best you. You deserve the healed, super fine, super best, peaceful, well you. Bye-bye.
Bye.